Part 23. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 221. Chapter 221 Konoha's War Plan. Cheyenne is only suspected to have lost Kazekage, but her hard power is not damaged at all. Turning to bed, Xiaochun shook his head. Zhou is still there, and all the elite Jonin of Sand Hidden are there. Attacking Sand Hidden rashly will immediately make us the target of public criticism, and we, Konoha, have never taken the initiative to attack other hidden villages. That's true, but I think there must be someone who can't hold back and initiates a war. Hiruzuru Sarutobi smoked his pipe, his eyes were deep. Yunyin's AI, Yunyin's Oniki are all possible. Moreover, once there is chaos on the mainland, Kirigakura should not be as silent as last time. So, start preparing for war, and make a war plan according to the worst plan. Worst plan? Mitomonyan frowned. Konoha has always been the target of siege by all countries in any war. The only difference is the number of forces involved in the siege. According to the results of the last war, the Hanzo of the Land of Rain needs to be vigilant, but I heard that the peace advocacy organization that has been active in their country recently has caused him a lot of trouble. From this point of view, Hanzo should not be in the mood to pay attention to this war. In other words, with the checks and balances of that organization, the energy he can allocate should be limited, and the Land of Rain should maintain basic vigilance. The three of Mitomonyan didn't notice the strange look in Danzo's eyes when he mentioned Hanzo and the peace organization of Rain Country. Walking to the edge of the vertical ninja world map placed in the conference room, Mitomonyan held a pointer and pointed at the country of land first. The Land of Earth, Oniki is busy cleaning up the Land of Grass, and Caoyin village is really good at studying ninjutsu from other countries, and it has caused a lot of trouble for Yan Yin. To put it bluntly, it can buy us a lot of time. We will not pursue the matter of rope trees and carnations last time, and Kayan village will do its best. After a pause, Mitomonyan then pointed to the Land of Thunder. The turmoil has been going on for a few years, and now the five major powers are weakening their control over the small countries around them. There are so many small countries between Union and Cheyenne. They may choose to take advantage of the chaos to attack some small countries, but Cheyenne is too far away, so they probably won't. Well, what Yan said makes sense. We also received news before that Airway Jinzuriki of Union Village seems to have performed well. Zwanzuko Haru is closer to Uzumaki Mito and Uzumaki Kushina, so she pays more attention to the information of Jinchuriki. Judging from their kidnapping of Kushina last time, their research on Tailed Beast and Jinchuriki will never be relaxed. Don't forget that Union also has 8-tailed Jinchuriki. Heyo. Several people were silent for a while. 9-tailed beasts, in people's general perception, the 8-tailed beast can be said to be second only to the 9-tailed beast. Although the tailed beasts themselves seem to be very unimpressed with this statement, at least the 3 generations of Raikage are only on par with the 8 tails. The 8-tailed Jinchuriki of this generation, Kiribi, can already perform some of the moves that can only be performed by a perfect Jinchuriki. He will not go berserk, and he is a powerful combat force that cannot be ignored. Mitoman pushed his glasses and continued his analysis. However, Union and Yin have always had conflicts, which is one of the reasons why Anamu did not dare to attack Kayan village with all his strength. He had suffered a lot in the last war. With Yunyin's usual arrogant and domineering attitude, the surrounding small countries have no choice but to act according to their faces. If they are the first to jump out, I won't be surprised. As long as they start a war, Yunyin's strength and self-confidence make it impossible for them to suffer. They are just afraid that the world will not be chaotic. Danzo snorted angrily, with piercing hatred in his eyes. Even now, he still couldn't forget the scene where the second generation of Hokage, Senshou Kaijian, left alone to delay time for them. Yunyin's Golden Horn and Silver Horn troops. And thinking of this point in time, Danzo couldn't help. Thinking of the position of Hokage, under his nose, he was slashed by Sarutobi Hiryu. So, he took a deep breath. Years of city mansion made him calm down quickly. Rijan, you must not take the war madman like Union lightly. The borders of Tianziguo and Tangshiguo that Union may pass through must be heavily guarded. Well, Danzo, you are right, Yan, mark this down. Hiruzuru Sarutobi frowned slightly, and nodded, obviously thinking of his teacher. Yes, then the border between the two countries needs to divide part of the troops. I suggest that Jiraiya and Minato master and apprentice go there. After thinking about it for a while, Mightyman recommended candidates for the leadership of these two lines of defense. The ultra-high mobility of Minato's Flying Thunder God technique, coupled with Jiraiya's Senjutsu and psychic beasts, even though the border between Tenokuni and Tangokuni is long, they can take care of it. Okay, then Jiraiya is in charge of the shorter Tenokuni border, and Minato is in charge of the longer Unokuni border. Seeing that there was no objection, Hiruzuru Sarutobi nodded in agreement. Then go ahead, we also need to deploy troops along the eastern coast. Wuyan village also has two-tailed beasts. Yes, so the eastern coast, I recommend Orochimaru to go. Mito Minion smiled slightly. Orochimaru has been rushing to make enchanted ninja tools recently, and he is actually responsible for supervising this matter. He knew that his son's teacher had great confidence in the things he developed. So this time, maybe we can give some surprises to Wuyan village, which has been mysterious recently. Yes, let Nakoki assist Orochimaru, and Nakoki's perception ability can be of great help to the Kirigakure ninja who is good at assassination. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked to the northwest of the map. Then, for the land of earth that will almost certainly cause trouble, who can choose? Fight against the land of earth, which is the border of the land of grass. Mito Minion couldn't help showing a trace of pride that made Danzo look extremely dazzling. I recommend Satoru to go. Possessing a war weapon like a portal that can subvert the battlefield, Wu is located on the border of the country of grass fortifications, and can simultaneously coordinate the forces against Yan Yin, Sand Yin, Yun Yin, and even domestic forces. He can even hold a meeting in the village every morning, and then go to the battlefield after the meeting. Even the speed of information transmission on the battlefield is no longer a problem. At the same time, Wu's personal combat power. Glancing at Danzo with a cold face indiscriminately, the corners of Mitomonion's mouth raised uncontrollably. Very strong. He, good. Hiruzuru Sarutobi laughed loudly. There are Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Goto, Minato, and even Nakoki fighting outside, and there are Sakumo's guards and Tsunade's logistics inside. With them, no matter how difficult the situation is, how can I, Konoha, be afraid? Then, Sunjan. Danzo's chilly voice sounded again, interrupting Sarutobi's good mood. Uchiha, what are you going to do this time? In the last war, the Uchiha clan was suppressed and guarded in the village, and only a few ethnic groups were able to participate in foreign wars. But this time, using the same interface again may not work well. Uchiha, still carry out the work of guarding the village first. I believe Uchiha Fuyu, the patriarch, will understand. After a long time, Hiruzuru Sarutobi put down his pipe. Shen made a decision. According to the evolution of the situation, the arrangement for the Uchiha clan can be adjusted at any time, and the possibility of letting them play is not ruled out. This time Danzo did not object. In this case, Rijan, don't blame me. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 222. Chapter 222 Nanayu's Orphanage. The news that puzzled the major forces came. Cheyenne village, one of the 5 hidden villages, suddenly fell into civil strife. Until the civil strife got bigger and bigger, Cho and other high-level officials of Sagakushi were still looking for the trace of Sandai Kaze Cage with all their heart. They firmly believe that as long as the 3 generations of Kazekage return, the civil strife will be calmed in an instant. But there is no impenetrable wall, and even Konoha can detect the mysterious disappearance of the 3rd generation of Kazekage, let alone the sand hidden by the upper layers. With such frequent personnel transfers, no fool can see that there is a problem. And when the news was thoroughly confirmed, not only Sand Hidden Village, but also all countries in the ninja world were shocked. The disappearance of Kazekage, one of the 5 cages, is no small matter. The small countries around the Kingdom of Wind have been waiting and watching for a long time. Now that the news is confirmed, they can't wait to jump out and start fighting for their own interests. To put it bluntly, it is to scrape a lot of oil and water from Shane, who is already too busy to take care of himself. Local conflicts broke out frequently and intensified, and other small countries began to follow suit, ready to move. Between the Kingdom of Wind and the Kingdom of Fire, there is the Kingdom of Rivers. But the country of Kawa no Hidden Village has become the front line for the major forces to covet Sand Hidden Village. Konoha is on the border between the Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Sichuan, and there is no strong man who can change the situation of the war by himself to a certain extent. Tsunade is in charge of coordinating the entire medical system. Jiraiya and Namikaze Minato headed to the border between Tanokuni and Tangokuni. Orochimaru and Nawaka went to the eastern coast to defend the Waterland. Wu is still working overtime to crack down on the last key technology of the war puppet. Therefore, at the border of the country of Chuan, the comprehensive defense line led by the pig-deer-butterfly combination came to station. The current trio of Inakacho, even in Jonin, is very outstanding, especially in the Konoha Authority Department they are in charge of. They have already made their name. Akitheo Dingzeo is already the deputy commander in charge of the Akitheo family's guards, establishing the Sichuan defense line. Shikasa Nara, with his outstanding wisdom, has become the deputy chief of staff of the General Staff Department, responsible for strategic customization at the war level. Kiki Yamanaka, who specializes in intelligence technology, is allowed to lead the analysis team of the Special Intelligence Team alone. He has extremely high intelligence authority and is responsible for frontline intelligence analysis and acquisition. As Tsunade's disciple, Yakushi Nanoyo also came to the front line of Kawano country and was responsible for establishing the frontline medical team. The chaotic war in the country of Sichuan produced a large number of homeless refugees, and more of them were orphans who could not survive alone. The civil strife in Hidden Sand Village has even caused many refugee families from the Land of Winds to desperately cross the Land of Rivers in an attempt to reach the Land of Fire. And few of them succeed. The existence of more orphans made Nanoyu, who couldn't stand it, put forward his ideas to the teacher Tsunade. "Teacher, I want to build an orphanage." Tsunade looked at no Neiyu, who made a special trip back to the village from the front line in surprise. The 18-year-old no Neiyu was no longer the little girl who followed her to fight. Now, she is an elite medical jonin, an excellent ninja who can stand on her own. Orphanage? Are you thinking of yourself? Tsunade recalled Nanoyu's life experience. She was also an orphan when she was studying at the ninja school. Moreover, even the little disciple Jingyin is an orphan. In fact, a large part of the children who enter ninja schools every year are orphans, whether they are civilians or children of ninja families. It's just that during the war years, there will be more such orphans. Yes, many children do not have ninja talent and cannot enter ninja schools to study. More children have no one to take care of. They either live by stealing, or they can only die miserably. Nanoyu's peaceful face was full of sadness. I didn't have the ability in the past, but now, I think I have the ability to take care of them and protect them. No Neiyu, this is a good thing, but you have to know that the operation of the orphanage requires a lot of money and materials, and now is a time of war. It is not certain whether this matter will get the support of the high level. Tsunade is naturally very clear about the kindness of his disciples, but the problems facing the village are also real. I will help you to propose to the high level, but whether this matter can be done. Tsunade rested his chin in his hand and was thinking, when suddenly his eyes lit up. Correct. No Naiu, you go to Wu Boy, if you have his support, this matter will be more than half. Ah! That kid is terrible now. Tsunade touched the exquisite necklace on his snow-white neck sourly. It was the Baihao Smart Assistant created by Wu. His current strategic value is comparable to that of our Konoha Sunin combined. If he says something and his father nods, what else will Sarutobi-sensei say? I'm sorry, Wu-san, is there something wrong? Well, not really. Tsunade looked at Satoru, who suddenly appeared with a dark face. Hey, you kid, won't you walk through the door? Well, Tsunade-sensei, don't pay attention to these details. Time is urgent now. I just came to you to test the battlefield support system, so we must pay attention to efficiency. Satoru naturally ignored Tsunade's protest, scratched his head and glanced at the embarrassed Nanoyu. What do you want to bother me? Brat. Tsunade snorted, and talked about Nanoyu's proposal, and Wu immediately expressed his support. Of course this is a good thing. Things like orphanages can not only effectively protect orphans, but also have strong strategic significance for the village. The third generation will agree. Strategic significance. Nanayu is a little confused. This is an idea of his own. What is the strategic significance? The orphanage located on the front line and facing the war zone, its very existence is a temporary military supply point. The materials it stores can be converted into military supplies at any time, and can be used as a temporary site for logistical medical treatment. In the original timeline, Yakushi Nanoyu's orphanage had this function. In addition, the children in the orphanage, with proper guidance, can quickly cultivate their sense of identity with us even if they are orphans from enemy countries. Basic survival skills education can also be screened for children with ninja talent and cultivated. Even children without ninja talent can be trained to be self-reliant, ensuring that they can survive on their own when they leave the orphanage when they grow up. Satoshi's words made Tsunade and Nanoyu nod unconsciously. This is indeed a good thing for the village and the orphans. If they think there's a problem with funding. Wu thought for a while, and said to himself. I'm going to bring the rope tree back to build a house, you just need to solve the manpower and material problems. No Nayu, you can gather people first, I'll go find the third generation. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 223. Chapter 223 The Support System and Xiaochuang Sheng. Sarutobi Hiruzen readily approved the construction of the orphanage. There is no need to spend money on infrastructure, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has no pressure at all. If he still can't get the children's food and clothing, his hokage will be for nothing. What's more, the two research results presented by Wu gave him a very special right to speak. Hiruzen Sarutobi felt that even if he did nothing next, there was no reason why he would lose this war. Therefore, he naturally approved Wu to go to the eastern coastal defense line, and take the rope tree to the border of Kawano country to build a house. And Rosuke's girlfriend, Uzumaki Carnation, after hearing about this incident, even applied to Tsunade, hoping to participate in the orphanage's affairs. Sister Tsunade, I have the gift of perception and recovery. If I stay in Konoha and enjoy shelter like this during the war, I can't forgive myself. Although Nakoki objected 100 times, Carnation's attitude was very firm. She knew that as long as Tsunade nodded, Nakoki would have to agree. I myself have wandered in the country of grass as an orphan for many years. Although I can't go to the battlefield, at least I can use my perception to protect the orphanage. But Carnation, you're not a ninja, it's too dangerous to go to the front line. Tsunade naturally knew Carnation's place in her younger brother's heart, so she hesitated to let her, who is not a ninja, go close to the front line. Carnation looked at the hesitant Tsunade, and said firmly, "You have also seen my healing talent. If there is a serious injury that cannot be healed by medical ninjutsu, I can help. Besides, there are ordinary people in the orphanage, at least I am more suitable for the front line than them." "Okay, I agree, let me talk about the rope tree, but you must pay attention to protecting yourself." Tsunade patted Carnation's shoulder, solemnly said, "You are my family now and I don't want to lose any more family." "Ah, that is." Carnation's face was flushed, although everyone knew her relationship with Shenchu, but her sweetheart sister said it so bluntly. "Really happy." After finishing the orphanage, Satoru and Tsunade secretly tested the medical support system that Tsunade was amazed at. In the backyard of Mue Hospital, a portal shining with magnificent light stands on a pedestal engraved with special symbols. At the other end of the portal, there was a sluggish figure of Jiraiya with his mouth open. Tsunade. The current Jiraiya is at the border defense line between the Land of Fields and the Land of Fire, and Wu's first teleportation gate opens right next to him. "How is it? Are you surprised? Are you surprised?" Sagittarius stepped into the portal one step at a time, and appeared next to Jiraiya. "Mr. Jiraiya, this is the most cutting-edge teleportation technology, although due to the safety considerations of unattended and the limitation of energy storage, it can only teleport 100 people a day. But for medical support, this is definitely a unique pioneering work in the history of the ninja world." Wu's first research result, the fixed-point remote portal system. This portal uses the most advanced high-efficiency energy conduction technology and is powered by materialized arcane crystals, which can last for a day. In other words, one arcane crystal can teleport 100 people in one day. If the arcane crystal is replaced, the portal can continue to exist. However, if Wu himself sent it, there would be no such restriction. Wow, ha ha ha. That's great. Enlightenment, our sacrifices will be greatly reduced in this war. Jilla was also shocked by the power of the portal, and at the same time, he was a little delighted. "So I can see Tsunade every day? Idiot. Is that what the portal is for you to use?" As soon as Tsunade stepped out of the portal, she heard Jiraiya's obscene voice. She grabbed Jiraiya's ears, and the latter screamed loudly. "I'm just making an analogy." "Humph. Don't think I don't know, if you dare to use this door to do something you shouldn't do." Tsunade waved his fist threateningly, and put Jiraiya down. "Don't worry, I'm still used to collecting materials in person, I was wrong." "Ah." Seeing the unrestrained Zilla also looking for death, Wu smiled wryly and shook his head. In the next Third Ninja World War, the 5 major countries will all fall into a big melee. Satoru has no ability to stop the war now. What he can do is to let Konoha have an absolute advantage to end the war as soon as possible. If you speak well, no one will listen. You have to convince them before you can talk slowly. Originally, the conditions in the ninja world were so good, wouldn't it be good to let him cultivate to the guardian realm as soon as possible? Since there are always people doing things, it can only make them completely unable to do things. Then, Tsunade-sensei, next we should go to Ashimaru-sensei and the Sichuan defense line, and then wait for the reactions of other countries. Wu still saves Jiraiya, otherwise he will be seriously injured. "Huh, okay, let's go." Tsunade shook his head, snorted, and walked away through the portal. "The war hasn't started yet, you still have time to heal your wounds." Satoru shrugged. Jiraiya was still twitching in the big pit on the ground, surrounded by defensive ninjas with subtle expressions. "That, you carry Master Jiraiya back, pay attention to the confidentiality regulations." "Yes, Master Wu." In Yuyan village, Yahiko led his comrades and once again relied on his own efforts to eliminate a large-scale conflict. It was almost dawn, and the next battle awaited them. Nagato, our efforts are not in vain, we are one step closer to our ideal. Yahiko looked at the horizon that had begun to turn white, revealing the joy from his heart. Look, today is a rare sunny day, and the sun is coming out soon. Yahiko, your belief and strength will definitely make our team stronger. Nagato admired that Yahiko didn't just rely on his own ideas to gather so many comrades. As the leader, Yahiko not only made his companions follow willingly, but also won the approval of many opponents with his strong belief and equally powerful strength. Nagato, don't be humble, the strength or something is far behind you, but you must pay attention, the burden of the reincarnation eye is still a bit heavy. It doesn't matter to me. Over the years, I have gradually been able to master the eyes of reincarnation. Nagato is still figuring out the function of the reincarnation eye. Although it is a bit heavy for him, he doesn't care much about it. On the contrary, you, Yahiko, as the leader, have not even had an official title until now, and it is not appropriate to always call it organization. Come up with a name for our organization. Yahiko couldn't help scratching his head at Nagato's words, it seemed that this was indeed something they had been ignoring. In other words, from the beginning, they did not expect to gather so many like-minded people. It really should make everyone more cohesive. Name. Yahiko set up the awning with his hands, narrowed his eyes slightly, and looked at a rare sight in the land of rain. The sun is rising. Then call it Xiao. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziyu. Chapter 224. Chapter 224 We are ourselves. If everyone is united, there will be peace. Akatsuki is a non-governmental organization in the Land of Rain led by Yahiko with the idea of building a bridge of hope to world peace through communication between people. With a name, the organization has a soul, and members have a stronger cohesion. Not only in the battles of various forces, but also among the common people, Akatsuki also has a very high reputation. Even before officially having a name, some forces began to seek cooperation with Akatsuki. Maybe they didn't really want peace, but just wanted to expand their influence through Akatsuki's reputation. But Yahiko doesn't care about these, as long as it is really helpful to peace. Why refuse? ITO Chamber of Commerce, a large chamber of commerce that straddles the land of wind and the land of rain, was the first to approach Akatsuki. But now, the ITO Chamber of Commerce, which has been cooperating for some time, suddenly cut off its financial support. This made Yahiko a little unprepared, but they soon found out that it was because the old president of the ITO Chamber of Commerce retired and the new president took office and began drastic reforms. Small non-governmental organizations like Xiao are not in his eyes. It didn't take long, however, for a special guest to visit. This person, whom Yahiko had met before, was the financial director of the ITO Chamber of Commerce. Boss Yahiko, it seems that our clothing tastes are very similar. Mr. Kakozu's first words made Yahiko not sullen. In the speechless eyes of Nagato and Konan, Yahiko opened his mouth wide. Ahahaha, Mr. Financial Supervisor, you really have vision, but this is due to Zionin. Although she thinks there is still room for improvement, I think we are doing well. Yahiko and the others are now wearing dark high-collared robes, lined with tight waterproof raincoats, protective belts around their waists, and rain shields on their heads. Even in the rain, they don't look embarrassed at all. On the other hand, Mr. Kakutsu wears a hood and a mask, instead of wearing Takigakuru's forehead protector as usual, and wears a dark robe with a high collar, which firmly blocks his more terrifying body. The reason why Mr. Kakozu sighed was because Satoru had recommended the suit to him several years ago. This is exactly the same as the robe Xiao is wearing now. Speaking of which, Mr. Supervisor's attire looks like our comrades. Yahiko put his fist to his mouth and coughed lightly, making a serious look. Then, Mr. Supervisor, Although we are very sorry about the Chamber of Commerce, we also express our understanding. What is the purpose of your visit today? I have quit the ITO Chamber of Commerce, my name is Kakuto, and now I am a free man. By the way, I am the treasurer and personal bodyguard of the old president. Xiaodu quickly entered the role. Although the young man in front of him seemed inexperienced, he didn't dare to fool him by lending Xiaodu 5 more hearts. This is Master Wu's personal disciple. Bodyguard. The three of Yahiko were startled, that is to say, Mr. Kakutsu, who has resigned, is not weak. That's right, and President Ito also has some friendship with a certain adult from Konoha, so, do you understand? Koto slightly turned over the collar, revealing a mark that made Yahiko's pupils shrink. Brother Wu's Flying Thunder God spell. This, Brother Wu has been helping us? Yahiko, Nagito, and Konan looked at each other, their eyes a little astringent. Really, every time I saw him and Jiraiya-sensei, he never mentioned it, so, Kakuzu-san, you are one of your own. My own people or something, it's okay, but I only believe in money. Master Wu gave me a good opportunity to enjoy money, so I will appear here. There was a pious light in Kakuzu's green eyes. Money is eternal and always present. In a long time, only money is the only truth. Leader Yahiko, Master Wu arranged for me to study and practice at the ITO Chamber of Commerce for so many years, just for this moment. Mr. Kakuto's eyes showed enthusiasm. Making money is an art. As a new organization, Leader Yahiko, your mission is to change the world with your beliefs. And my mission is to use the magical power of money to fill this organization from its empty shell and become a behemoth that can truly shake the world. Yahiko, Nagito, and Zionan saw the bewilderment on each other's faces. Although they are also very aware of the importance of money, but as persistent as Mr. Kakuzu. Mr. Kakuto, you are worthy of being the chief financial officer. Yahiko could only speak out with sincere emotion. But in terms of money, we don't have much. Most of it is used to help the people, and many of our tasks are not paid. The corner stretches out a finger and shakes it gently. You don't understand at all how to accumulate wealth. This war is a huge opportunity to accumulate wealth. War, but our goal is to eliminate war. Yahiko frowned. If he wants to make war fortune, is Akatsuki still Akatsuki? But now, you are helpless against this kind of war that has swept across most of the ninja world. Chiao very precisely pointed out the problem Akatsuki faced. Your influence is not big enough. Relying on such a small scale, your ideals are great, but maybe until the day you grow old, it will be difficult to realize. You must quickly expand your popularity. Set a small goal first, and become more famous than Hanzo. Then, you will have the capital to communicate with big countries. Your words will have weight. And in this process, money can play a huge, even indispensable role. Yahiko was silent for a moment, and had to admit that what Kakuzu said made sense. So, how to make money? Leave this to me. This is my mission when I came to Xiao, and it is also Master Wu's little support for your cause. Corners are very calm. If I hadn't been so good at making money and managing it, I would have been a corpse years ago. I have lived for many years, and Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja world, I have seen it, but I have been in a daze for so many years. It wasn't until Master Wu discovered my value and gave me a new goal that I realized that my structure has always been small, too small. The three of Yahiko looked at each other, and smiled wryly. As expected, they were still too immature. But Senju Hashirama, how old is Mr. Kakuzu? Then, Mr. Kadatsu, welcome to join Xiao. From today, you will be our financial supervisor. Yahiko smiled, and stretched out his hand to Kakuzu. To be favored by senior brother Wu, your strength must be more than just a bodyguard. Please take care of me in the future. Kakuzu was silent for a moment, stretched out his hand, and held it with Yahiko. Honored. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 225. Chapter 225 Hanzo's Transformation. With Kakuto's help, Akatsuki's financial situation has changed dramatically. It's not that Xiaonan has no source of income. The medical subsidy created by Xiaonan himself is Xiaonan's biggest source of income. These are free to those in need, but they are also sold to the larger forces in exchange for money to maintain the organization. But Xiao is not just a plaster seller, their business scope is very wide. But for various combat missions they only charge very little or no pay at all. For rescue missions, volunteers are free of charge. The members who join are basically young people with common ideals. The common people in this country are already poor, and they don't pay too much attention to money issues. The addition of Mr. Kakuto made them understand how important it is to have a good financial manager. Under Kakuto's management, in just a few months, Yahiko discovered that the things Akatsuki did hadn't changed much, but the available funds had increased a lot. In this way, Akatsuki's reputation rose rapidly in Yuyan village, and the country of Rain itself has so many outstanding young people, which also made the people more confident in their country. Even the leader of Yuyan village, the ninja demigod Sanjiayu Hanzo, admired these young people very much. During this period of time, the three major kingdoms surrounding the Kingdom of Rain, the Kingdom of Fire, the Kingdom of Wind, and the Kingdom of Earth have had a lot of movement. But Hanzo knew that he hadn't grasped the opportunity of the last war, and if he joined the war rashly this time, the end of Yuyan village would probably be miserable. Among other things, the Konoha son in who he personally bestowed the title on are now each powerful ninjas in their own right. If the three of them deal with themselves together again. If I were to deal with myself with that ice escape guy like last time. Hanzo clearly realized that he might die. What he didn't realize, of course, was that it didn't take four of them to die. Konoha has excellent young people and a complete and effective education system. The speed at which they cultivate talents is too fast. In the central tower of Yuyan village, Hanzo couldn't help sighing as he looked at the latest information collected by his subordinates. The current Hanzo has completely extinguished his desire to covet Konoha. It has to be said that his ambitions have been shattered a lot by reality. But the problem he faces now is no longer coveting other people's land, but how to protect himself in an increasingly tense situation. The geographical location of the Land of Rain is really special. If the three major powers fight together, the Land of Rain will still inevitably be involved in the war. Moreover, the report received by Hanzo shows that some Yuyan ninjas have begun to infiltrate into Yuyan village, but Akatsuki blocked a lot of them. This group of young people, if used well, should be a good help. Hanzo thought so, but Akatsuki's reputation grew rapidly, and he was faintly on par with him, the supreme leader of Yuyan village, which made him hesitate. Although the current Xiao is wearing a Yuyan forehead protector, she is still a non-governmental organization through and through, and has nothing to do with Yuyan village. But if Hanzo came forward to support them, their popularity would almost immediately equal Hanzo's. Even, because Hanzo has not made a move for a long time, he has almost become a symbol. The high and mighty half-god, and Xiao who helped you just yesterday, which one do you value? Therefore, Hanzo has not made up his mind for a long time, how to deal with Akatsuki. However, a mysterious letter changed Hanzo's mentality. Danzo, huh? The darkness of Konoha, this guy's ambition is not small. Hanzo took out a secret letter and read it carefully from beginning to end again. During this time, he has been repeating such things. Every time he looks at it, his mentality will change a bit. But he's not without reason, no, it's very reasonable. Although Hanzo is powerful, there are many darkness in his heart. Such a goal is exactly what Danzo likes the most. Danzo's poisonous speech technique that contains profound darkness is stronger than Hanzo's, and it is also being triggered little by little to bring out the darkness in his heart. After a period of deliberation, Hanzo's suggestion to Danzo ranged from scoffing, to becoming interested, to careful consideration, and finally to making up his mind. The thinking has completely turned around. However, now that the situation is unclear, Hanzo will not act rashly. Going to stimulate Konoha, which is already in a state of combat readiness, is like stabbing a hornet's nest. The war situation may turn to Yuyan village again in an instant. Only by waiting for the three major powers to go to war can we seize opportunities in the cracks. Want to get rid of Konoha Shirato? Then you can become Hokage? Hanzo frowned deeply, thinking about the pitfalls in the cooperation information given by Danzo. Hanzo will not be so defenseless against this Konoha no Yam, who is extremely dreaded by the high-level people in the hidden villages. Moreover, is Konoha so easy to kill? Konoha Baiga has already given up his qualifications as a Hokage candidate and served as a Hokage guard. Even so, the plan must be eliminated before he can be implemented. Hanzo's complexion changed slightly, thinking of a crazy possibility. Danzo, he wants to assassinate Hokage. If I were Hokage, I would keep the war from reaching the land of rain. Looking at this sentence again, Hanzo has a new understanding. He, Danzo, are you impatient to turn from darkness to light? It seems that Hirozuru Sarutobi has been sitting in Hokage's position for too long, can you not wait? Hanzo understood Danzo's purpose, but he also knew very well that using Danzo himself to deal with Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is still at the peak, is hitting a stone with an egg. Therefore, he must ask for foreign aid. And he, Hanzo, is currently the best partner for cooperation. Mutual benefit. That's true, if you want to eradicate Akatsuki completely and consolidate my position, you need to deploy a lot of people, but this village has too many insiders, so it won't work. The root of Danzo is the best scapegoat, he doesn't care about scapegoating at all, he exists for this. However, the preparations in the early stage must not be missed. After reading the secret letter again for the last time, Hanzo burned it to ashes, thought carefully for a moment, and wrote a reply letter. A confidant was recruited, and Hanzo handed him the secret letter. Go to the country of fire, this location, find the person at the root of the leaf, and give this to him. If there is no reply within 3 days, return by yourself. If there is a reply, bring it to me as quickly as possible. Yes. Lord Hanzo. The confidant disappeared immediately, and Hanzo took the ninja world map and studied it carefully. Now Konoha's energy is focused on defending against big countries, and the border of the country of grass is also fortified, but I have no defense here. Is this a gap intentionally left by Danzo? Or a trap? The defense of the country of grass was organized by that ice-dun boy. Humph, Danzo, are you using him to threaten me? I want to see what kind of perfect plan you can have next. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 226. Chapter 226 The Fourth Kaze Cage. Just when Konoha was cautiously guarding against attacks from neighboring countries, the first real war broke out suddenly. But contrary to everyone's expectations, this battle was first fought between Union Village and Cheyenne Village, two big countries with a lot of small countries sandwiched between them. After such a long period of turmoil, Sandyan himself has been battered. On the one hand, they still haven't given up looking for the trace of the third Kaze Cage. On the other hand, without the commander of Kaze Cage, the internal factions struggled with each other, making it impossible for senior officials like Joe to suppress the situation. The consequence of the civil strife is that Sane is simply unable to focus on alerting foreign enemies. In particular, no one thought that Union Village would attack them first. Union Village used lightning tactics, and it was not discovered by Cheyenne until it broke through the national border defense line of Cheyenne and broke into the desert outside Cheyenne village. Under the leadership of the consultant puppet master Cho, the chaotic sand-hidden village resisted the raid force led by the third Raikage AI himself. But no matter how strong Cho's puppet is, facing the third Raikage who possesses the strongest spear Hell Spike and the strongest shield Thunder Dunk armor, he is still helpless. The third generation of Raikage has the ability to violently destroy puppets. At the same time, the puppet attack weapons that can kill ordinary ninjas are useless against him. Losing the 3 generations of Kazekage, Sand-Hidden Village is really vulnerable. Cho, the puppet you are proud of, is useless in front of this old man. The third generation of Lei Yingge led Union's elite assault team, looking indifferently at the group of Cheyenne ninjas who dared not speak out. As one of the 5 great hidden villages, it's almost time for you to come to your senses. 3 Kazekages will never come back. AI was surrounded by Lei Dun Chakra. The reason why he went out personally was because he knew this very well. The group of dragons has no leader, and Sandyin looks powerful on the surface, but most of the people are exhausted to find the missing third Kazekage. Even their commando team can't resist. AI. As one of the 5 hidden villages, are you going to start a ninja war? Cho asked angrily. Although the situation in various countries is very tense now, she can only draw some people from limited hands to guard against Iwagakure and Konoha. She never thought that Union would be the first to strike. Ninja World War? Humph. Military expansion is exactly the way I, Union, advocate. AI pointed to the sand ninjas with ugly faces in front of them. Make a decision, Cheyenne. Is this old man going to kill you all, or you hand over half of Cheyenne's resources in exchange for this old man's retreat? The old man came all the way, not to argue with you. What the old man wants is real benefits. Wishful thinking. Cho was about to speak, but an angry voice lashed out angrily before her. A young brown-haired man stood out from the crowd and shouted in a deep voice. Cheyenne village is one of the 5 hidden villages. You underestimate the power of Cheyenne. Oh. Kid, you are very imposing. Who are you? AI squinted his eyes. When this young Jonin stood up, many of the other sand-hidden ninjas showed complicated expressions. Is it a touch of awe? I am Raza, a disciple of the third Kazekage, the third Raikage AI. The teacher often mentioned to me the 2nd generation of Tukage, the 2nd generation of Mizukage, the 2nd generation of Hokage and your heroic deeds. But now one of the heroes in the story appeared in front of me and became the enemy of the village. What an irony. A disciple of the 3 generations of Kazekage? AI's face turned serious. So, you will do that too? Cho, it seems that you have confidence in him. Luo Xia is very proficient in the study of ninjutsu, with superb talent, and is an excellent elite jonin. Cho was silent for a moment, glanced at Luo Xia with a firm face, and smiled slightly. When fighting to protect the village, he will be stronger. So that's how it is, then, let the old man try it. Your weight. AI signaled his subordinates to back off. The lightning dungeon armor shone even more, and at the same time his hands were covered with lightning dungeon chakra. If you can't deal with the old man, you can't protect the village with determination alone. Hell Spike 4 hands. SHHH-. AI turned into a bolt of lightning, piercing Luo Xia straight through. Is this a sand substitute? Luo Xia exploded into sand grains all over the sky, and immediately after, the ground violently fluctuated. This is gold. Magnetic escape gold placer. With Luo Xia's angry shout, the gold dust particles that had filled the ground suddenly exploded, enveloping AI to death. Boom. Without holding on for a few seconds, AI broke through the bondage of placer gold with powerful physical skills. Boy! You actually learned how to escape magnetically. Magnetic escape gold placer realm. Luo Xia didn't talk nonsense with AI, and there were countless spikes made of placer all over AI in an instant, piercing AI fiercely. It's useless, AI moved around among the countless gold placer spikes at lightning speed, but he suddenly discovered that although these gold placer spikes could not pierce his Thunder Dungeon armor, they could weaken it. Gold placer can conduct electricity, but it also depends on the degree of electricity. Increase the output of Thunder Stalking Chakra, and AI used powerful ninjutsu to disperse all the placer gold spikes. Magnetic escape boy, come out to this old man. Logosha's position seems to be constantly changing, and AI unexpectedly failed to accurately capture his figure. Magnetic escape golden sand waves. The scattered golden placer spikes did not disappear, but flew directly into the air, forming a wave like a huge waterfall. And AI finally discovered Logosha's location. He stepped on a ball of gold dust impressively and flew in the sky. Boom! The huge waves of placer gold are much heavier than water waves. Even AI, facing this level of impact, must be prepared. Hell Spike one hand. The strongest spear reappears, and AI's strongest attack move will directly penetrate the huge wave of gold dust that is about to bury him below. Chance. Logosha's eyes froze, and the huge amount of placer gold under AI's feet and around him changed shape again, surrounding AI from top to bottom at the same time. AI was about to rush out of the gold placer's encirclement immediately, but the gold placer turned into layers of obstacles, and the speed that AI was so proud of couldn't be used at all. Magnetic escape placer gold burial. Boom! A huge amount of heavy placer gold pressed AI Shishi down, rotated and rose, and then Logosha made a seal with both hands, let out a deep cry, and the placer gold exploded violently. 3 generations. The Union ninjas exclaimed, and the Sand Yins cheered, but Joe and Logosha still frowned. Boom! A low roar like a monster's roar came from the huge hole blasted by the placer gold burial, the thunder light flashed away, and the third generation of Lei Yingei appeared in front of Union in an instant. Logosha, isn't it? There are 2 tricks. Iha laughed, but he was not hurt at all because of his messy clothes. Very good. This is worthy of the prestige of one of the 5 hidden villages, but you must survive this ninja world war first. AI understands that the magnetic dust gold that can guide lightning, and can be rigid or flexible, can somewhat restrain his own thunder escape. Continuing to fight, although AI is confident that he can kill Logosha, but it will take a lot of time, and the elite troops he brought can't afford to wait. Even himself, under Xia Yin's desperate resistance, is hard to please. Now Xia Yin's defense forces must be rushing over, and he was blocked by Logosha, and this surprise attack has failed. Let's go the next target. AI decisively retreated with his men and headed towards the land of Earth. Logosha! 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 Union receded, and Logosha, who was surrounded by cheers from Xia Yin's crowd, seemed like a dream. I used my own strength to protect the village, teacher, I did it. Logosha, you proved your strength and got everyone's approval. After a brief discussion between Joe and the top management, they quickly reached an agreement. The high-level leaders unanimously agreed to give up the search for the 3rd generation, and the power of the village shrank to deal with the next big battle, and you, Logosha. From today onwards, you are the 4th Kazekage. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 227. Chapter 227 Konoha's Madman. As Union Village started the first battle that shocked the entire ninja world, the tragic Third Ninja World War kicked off. After the fruitless raid on Sand Hidden Village, the 3rd generation of Raikage led the commando to transfer to the territory of the Land of Earth in a flash. When his old opponent Oniki was still testing the Land of Fire, he completely disrupted the situation. As he said, the expansion of force is the method that Union Village has always advocated. One of his sources of confidence is the Nuob group under him, his son and his brother. Kiribi has been a 8-tails Jinchuriki for several years. Contrary to everyone's expectations, he does not have a confrontational attitude with the 8 Tails Jinchuriki like all the previous 8 Tails Jinchuriki. Although his rap songs made AI feel a bit overwhelming, he unexpectedly got along well with Yao. With him, Yao is no longer just like other Jinchuriki, who can only borrow a part of chakra. The current Kiribi is very close to the perfect Renzhuli in theory. Based on the research of Union Village, although Kiribi's current combat power is not as good as that of the 4-tailed Jinzuli Laozi of Union Village in the Land of Land, it will catch up or even exceed it in a short time. Moreover, there is also a 2-tailed Jinchuriki in Union Village who has already shown his talent, and the 3rd generation of Raikage is not worried about the fact that there will be no successors. He has the determination to do everything possible to expand the power of Union. However, the 3rd Tsuchikage Oniki is not an easy person to deal with. As one of the few ninjas who can fly, Onoji also possesses the blood successor knockout Jindun with unparalleled attack power. Even the 3rd generation of Raikage can't please him in front of him. Therefore, the 3rd generation of Raikage is purely here to disgust Onoji this time. With his powerful strength as one of the 5 shadows, Oniki had no choice but to take action himself, instantly expanding the scale of the entire war. After that, the 3rd generation of Raikage plundered the Land of Earth, and marched straight to the Land of Fire with jaw-dropping speed. Cheyenne Village was raided by Union Village, and it was a blessing in disguise, and 4 generations of Kazekage were established. Cheyenne Village, which has regained its backbone, once again unites people's hearts in the face of Logosha's powerful strength. Cheyenne's high-level officials also realized the mistakes of the previous approach, and fully cooperated with Logosha to take power, and the strength of Cheyenne Village quickly recovered. On the border of the Land of Tang, in cooperation with the 3rd generation of Raikage AI's raid on the Land of Earth, Union led the team to raid the Land of Fire simultaneously. This is the real battle plan of fighting East and West. However, the existence of Namikaze Minato made their battle line almost stalemate at the border of the Land of Fire, unable to break through at all. Not to mention, the nearby Tianzi defense line, and Jiraiya assisted in the defense. The 2 masters and apprentices led their ninja troops to firmly block Union Village from the Kingdom of Fire. On the eastern coast of the Land of Fire, as Konoha expected, the Land of Water, Hidden Mist Village, which had been hiding in the Eastern Ocean, finally joined the war. However, the defense line arranged by Orochimaru and Natoki made it impossible for the troops of Wuyan Village to break into the Country of Fire. Returning to Kayan Village, the Great War broke out, and the original Country of Grass breathed a sigh of relief. The mess of the 3rd generation of Raikage restrained a large part of Union Village's troops. Originally, Union's attack on Kayan had been slowed down. But what they didn't expect was that the ultimate goal of the 3rd generation of Raikage was the Land of Fire, Konoha Hidden Village. With lightning speed, the 3rd generation of Raikage passed through the defense line of the Grass and headed for the border of the Country of Fire. And the Country of Grass is miserable. The 3rd Tsuchikage Oniki, who had been teased by the 3rd generation of Raikage, personally led the team and completely shattered the resistance of the Country of Grass. Then they ignored the Land of Grass at all, chasing the 3rd generation of Raikage to the border of the Land of Fire. So, at the border between the Land of Grass and the Land of Fire, the 3 Raikages, the 3 Tsuchikages, and Satoru met. The first to arrive was the 3rd generation of Raikage AI. He looked at the Konoha defense line waiting in full force, and the young people who came out more and more, and sneered. Why, the old man forced out a 4th Hokage in Hidden Sand Village. Could it be possible that he can force out another 4th Hokage here? 3rd Raikage-sama, you are really humorous 3rd generation Hokage-sama, although I usually call him an old man, but he is only in his 50s, at the peak. It's you, who are so hasty to do things and actively act as the fuse of the ninja world war, but you. Wu paused with the staff in his hand, his face turned cold. It's an unforgivable crime. Unforgivable. A joke. The 3rd Raikage was laughed at by Goki. Boy, you are not qualified to talk to the old man like that. War. In order to make your country and village more prosperous, external expansion is almost inevitable, and your country of fire is sitting on the most fertile land. How unfair. I glanced behind the Konoha defense line, the lush forest characteristic of the land of fire, his eyes fascinated. Boy, you haven't been to our place, have you? So, stop talking nonsense. There is no right or wrong in war, it only depends on the position, and in the end it depends on the strength. Well, I understand this very well, so there are still right and wrong in war. Wu's ice crystal staff pointed at the third Raikage with a gloomy face from a distance. Those who win are right, and those who fail are wrong. Third Raikage-sama, if you can't go back today, don't blame me for being too harsh. Arrogance. With the upper body of the Thunder Dun armor, Ai waved his hand. Come on. Let the arrogant people of Konoha have a good experience of the wildness of our union. Yes. Facing the attack of Union Ninja, Wu waved his hands to stop the subordinates who were about to step forward. Master Wu. Satoru's deputy is none other than Hinata Raisai. As the white eye with the strongest detection function in the war, every time the Hyuga family fights, a large number of ninjas will join. Hyuga Hyazu has now taken over as the patriarch of the Hyuga family, and his younger brother Hyuga Hyasashi is the strongest among the Hyuga clansmen currently participating in the war. Although he just separated. However, as one of the senior members of the Hyuga family, he understands how strong Satoru is now. Although Satoru's reputation was not well known during the foreign war, the Third Raikage didn't even know him. But that was more because, when Wu carried out his tasks, he either left no trace or left no one alive. In Konoha, perhaps ordinary ninjas would think that Satoru is an elite jounin. But the big family is very clear that Wu's personal strength is better than Sunin. Probably only strong but not weak. Therefore, it is not only because of Wu's identity as the commander of the defense line, but also because of his strength and contribution that Hinata and Nisai respect Wu. There is no need for you to take action with such a small number of people. Always pay attention to the movement of the country of grass. With a wave of Wu's staff, a thick ice wall rose between the two armies, blocking the first wave of surprise attacks by Union Ninja. I don't think Raikage will have no tail behind him when he comes from the land of Earth. You mean? Hinata was startled, and he instantly understood what enlightenment meant. Understood, be careful. Well, it's temporarily impossible to kill him, but it's no problem to stop him. Satoru watched the ice wall being smashed by the powerful hell spike of the Third Raikage, and smiled. It's getting cold. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 228. Chapter 228. The Name of the Archmage. Seeing that the sky had started to snow, Hinata Hisashi retreated decisively, summoned the ninjas of the defense force to be alert, and at the same time rolled his eyes, looking in the direction of the country of grass. This is snow. When Ai saw the ice wall rising, he understood it. The young man holding a strange stick in front of him was Konoha's Ice Escape Blood Ninja. So it was you, kid, but the snow country is right on the border of our thunder country. You don't think this old man will be afraid of mere ice escape? The powerful force of Hell Spike smashed through the ice wall, and the Union ninjas cooperated with Raikage's attack to smash the ice wall, only to find that the surrounding temperature dropped sharply. What fell from the sky was no longer snowflakes, but sharp shards of ice. If they are not protected, this is like a handful of ice shards from small ice skates, which will bring them huge troubles. And when the Union ninjas were defending, Ai noticed that the thin layer of ice under their feet was silently affecting the speed of the ninjas. Watch your step. With an angry shout, Ai burst into lightning chakra all over his body, and rushed towards Wu's position. This guy can block his assault troops alone, which is completely different from the ice escape of those ninjas in the snow country he has seen. Hell Spike 4 hands. A bright flash of lightning flashed by, and AI's mighty hell-piercing eyes were about to pierce Wu, and AI could even see the sneer at the corner of Wu's mouth. Shua. Wu's figure disappeared in an instant, and after that, AI, who had lost his shot, heard a scream that made his eyes tear apart. That was the scream of his subordinates. "What have you done?" Turning around, AI saw that a strange vortex shining with purple light was pulling his subordinates together from different positions. "Stop! Flame storm!" Boom! The pillar of fire soaring into the sky reflected AI's pale face red, and a suffocating scorching storm erupted from the ground that was almost melted by the flames, and the third generation of Reikage had to stop temporarily. The shrill howl made AI's eyes tear apart. After a combo of flame storms, the group of elite ninjas brought by AI turned into coke. They didn't even have time for Lianyan to perform defensive ninjutsu. "How dare you? Why not?" Satoru holds the ice crystal staff in his hand, walks across the still burning ground, and walks up to AI. "There is no distinction between right and wrong, only the position. This is what you said, for my position, you are the aggressors and the enemies who provoked the war. Then for the sake of my village and my subordinates, it is only natural for me to take action to kill you, isn't it?" Enlightenment once again pointed the ice crystal staff straight at AI, whose forehead was bulging with veins. "Now, the idlers have been cleared away. Come on, Master Reikage 3, kill me, my subordinates are also vulnerable in front of you. You, boy, the old man will let you see what a shadow is." AI's lightning chakras surged all over his body, and the violent thunder and lightning made his long hair stand on end. "Hell spike one hand." Putting up a finger, AI turned to Wu with a calm face, increasing his speed to the extreme. "Go to hell." Shua. Wu frowned. The limit speed of the third generation of Reikage was so fast that he couldn't even detect his trajectory. But... click. AI's speed slowed down for a moment. Enlightenment's ring of frost lay between AI and himself, but AI's super high speed and strong body shattered the freezing effect, and his speed recovered instantly. Flash. Shua. As soon as Wu's figure appeared, a thunderous roar appeared behind him. Lay done black spot. The pitch-black thunder and lightning formed a huge cheetah, and instantly rushed to the place where Satoru appeared. AI's black thunder ninjutsu is faster than himself, even faster than Flash. Boom. Seeing that the cheetah turned into a black thunder blasted a huge hole directly at Wu's place, and Wu's figure could not be seen at all, AI's expression was not at all relaxed. Too easy. Of course. The two voices sounded almost at the same time, and AI was startled, and an astonishing burning sensation appeared behind her. Flashback. Dragon breath. Ah! Rao Ye's powerful Thunder Dungeon armor, known as the strongest shield's defensive power, was restrained by the scorching dragon flames for a moment. Calm down. Pyroblast. Boom. Wu's handheld version of the huge pyroblast technique, because of the effect of calmness, is directly in full state. The huge fireball with a diameter of more than 2 meters directly held AI tightly. But AI deserves to be the third generation of Reikage, even among the 5 cages, he is also a strong man with the highest strength. The violent explosion blasted out a column of fire that soared to the sky, and AI, who was wrapped in the powerful lightning dunk chakra, was violently thrown away by the blast. Thanks to the powerful Thunder Dungeon armor, AI's jacket was reduced to ashes, and his body surface was not seriously injured. As expected of the strongest shield, the defense of the 3 generations of Reikage-sama is really wonderful. Wu was a little surprised, knowing that the armor of Thunder Dun is strong, but it's too outrageous to be so strong. This is the Flying Thunder God technique. AI recognized the powerful ninjutsu that the second generation of Naruto Senshoutamona used to achieve the title of No. The continuous burning effect of the pyroblast is still there, and AI feels that his internal organs are being affected by the high temperature. If it wasn't for his 3 generations of Reikage, who realized this set of combos, even Jonin would have to die one by one. SHHH. Lei Dunchukra frantically scrubbed the body surface to wash away the high-temperature burning effect. I looked at Xiangwu again, and he was no longer looking at a young man. You, report your name. Well done Konoha, a powerful ninja like you doesn't have a name that people can remember. Well, I am Mitaman Satoru, the name. Of course this kind of thing is given by the enemy, but if you don't dislike the third generation of Raikage, I prefer you to call me Great Master, thank you. Great Mage, Master of Ninja, really arrogant. I obviously misunderstood the meaning of enlightenment, but it was barely explainable. But you have the qualifications to be arrogant. Those who move clouds and flowing water, have never seen before, this title is well deserved. I made seals with both hands, and gave a soft drink. Shadow clone technique. The three shadows clone appeared, just like AI, with black lightning flashing all over his body. Then Great Master Mito Mongo, your name will spread throughout the ninja world with this battle. The premise is that you can survive the old man's attack. More than people? Wu scratched his head. Really, I don't really like gang fights. Accompanied by a burst of arcane brilliance, 3 mirror images also appeared beside Wu. Come again. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziyu. Chapter 229. Chapter 229 The Old Bastard and the Old Man. The third generation of Raikage didn't care at all that he was using the technique developed by the second generation of Hokage, and the 4 figures covered in black thunder surged away at lightning speed, surrounding Wu and the mirror image from 4 directions. Just after completing the siege, AI and Sandaoying's clones released 4 huge black thunder cheetahs at the same time. Thunder Dungeon quadruple black spots. 4 huge black panthers roared, and Lei Dun's unique extreme speed was about to hit the target in an instant. Boom! Wu's mirror image clone smiled slightly, and a wall-like ice wall rose up to protect the 4 figures. Another mirror image shone with arcane brilliance in its hands, and a large energy rune including general enlightenment and the mirror image appeared at their feet, increasing the power of their spells. The last mirror image clone looked up at the sky, observing the situation in the sky. As for Wu's body, his hands were ignited with raging flames, and he was guiding a spell. Crack boom! The 4 black thunder cheetahs approached in an instant, colliding violently with the thick ice wall, stirring up ice chips and thunder light all over the sky. AI's 3 shadow clones disappeared after performing a ninjutsu, but his main body rushed towards Wu's position at the highest speed. This level of range attack, he can no longer dodge with Flying Thunder God. As soon as a confident smile appeared on the corner of AI's mouth, his complexion changed and he looked up at the sky. Then, what is that? In AI's field of vision, the sky turned red, and a small meteorite burning with raging flames was hitting him. Are you kidding me? AI quickly changed direction and appeared in the distance instantly. How could such an attack hit the old man? Oh, is it so? Wu's voice came from behind AI, making his eyes tear open. Following the sound of Wu's voice, before the fall of the bolide, which was less than 100 meters above the ground, there appeared a huge space rift. And the meteorite rushed straight into the crack, and then... boom long! The bolide appeared directly above AI's head, and he couldn't dodge it no matter what. Wu's mirror image clone completed the task of locating the portal, and immediately dissipated. In the black thunder that had not dissipated, Wu's body was covered with a magnificent purple barrier, and he walked out step by step. When the meteorite landed, a small crater was directly smashed out of AI's location. It's still far worse than the Tianyi Zhenxing. Master Wu. The powerful and dazzling spell made the Konoha ninjas in the line of defense cheer. To be honest, although they knew that the commander was an elite Jainin and was very strong, They didn't know that he was so strong. Archmage. Everyone firmly remembered this title, Master of Ninja. It couldn't be more appropriate. Master Wu. I found the Yin ninja in the direction of the country of grass. The veins around Hinata's eyes popped up. No matter how powerful Wu's spells were, it didn't affect his concentration. They really came. The leader is the third Tsuchikage, the 2-day scale Onoji. The reminder of the daily difference made Wu turn his head and look in the direction of the country of grass. The mage's eyes are still not as good as Bian in terms of detection range. Soon, the mage's eyes saw the Iwagakure ninja troop led by the third Tsuchikage Onaki flying in the sky. This, almost 2,000 people, so many people are here to block the third generation of Raikage. Or do you want to break through our defenses in one go? Wu shook his head, but Hinata suddenly became nervous. He stared at the crater that had just appeared, and said in a low voice. Master Wu. On the side of Raikage 3, it's impossible. After receiving that level of attack, are you still alive? Well, it's not a surprise. After all, the defense of the third generation of Raikage is really impressive. Enlightenment turned his head to look at the crater, and there were some burn marks and blood stains on his right arm, and the third generation of Raikage walked out of the crater step by step with heavy steps. On the contrary, the original dazzling lightning chakra on his body has dimmed a lot. AI. You old bastard. As soon as AI took a breath, his eyebrows twitched when he heard the roar of his old opponent. Onaki. You old man. Ahahaha. Look at the third generation of Raikage, who is known as the strongest spear and the strongest shield, is actually injured. 2,000 Iwagakure ninjas lined up, and Onaki, who was flying in the air, taunted the slightly embarrassed third Raikage. What happened just now? Meteorite. Ha! What about your speed? Can't even avoid that, such a big meteorite. Ha ha ha. You old man. Try it yourself. AI's left hand twitched unconsciously. Just now, in order to resist the meteorite that could not be dodged at all, he desperately opened the strongest thunder escape armor, and then used the strongest hell stab attack to open the gap before the meteorite exploded. Otherwise, it would not be as simple as bleeding a little and getting hurt now. Lei Tuan chakra consumes a lot, so AI also needs to slow down. Two old guys were making noise here. Wu paused his staff impatiently. Hey, you two adults Ying, aren't you a little too arrogant? Have you put our Konoha in your eyes? What a shame to make a lot of noise. The third generation of Raikage AI glared fiercely at Onaki, who was full of sarcasm, and his solemn eyes fell on Wu. Master, very good. Since the old man was born, no one has ever been able to hurt the old man like this. Now with... Shut up, old man. AI roared and interrupted Onaki, who had broken his mouth, and the already fading Lei Dun chakra suddenly burst into flames. However, if you want to keep the old man, you still can't do it today. Master, your Konoha's real goal of building a defense line here has arrived, so I will excuse you first. I look forward to showing you the power of our Union village on another battlefield. Old bastard. Want to run? Onoki snorted coldly. Konoha's Archmage. A title I have never heard of, but since you are an opponent recognized by the old bastard, and can hurt the old bastard like this, then the old man also recognizes your name. Onaki stared at the calm Satoru. Join hands with the old man, let's kill AI here. Afterwards, the old man promises not to attack Konoha again. You're thinking too much, Lord 3 Tsuchikage. Enlightenment stretched out a finger, swayed it lightly, with an expression of "Do you think I'm an idiot?" Compared to the third generation of Raikage, you are the biggest threat to our Konoha at present, and I can still distinguish this clearly. Killing the third generation of Raikage, you can deal with us without distractions, this is something anyone can see. Don't talk to me about promises. Believing in the promises of the enemy is more absurd than believing in the sun rising from the west. Ha ha ha. Old man. You think that everyone in the ninja world knows about your inconstant peeing. The third generation of Raikage laughed, turned into a flash of lightning, and disappeared in an instant, leaving only the lingering sound. Great Master. This old man is untrustworthy. If you can kill him, I, Yunyin, will not attack Konoha anymore. Ha ha ha. Guardians of Tirisfal of Konoha. Author, Ziujian. Chapter 230. Chapter 232 Day Scale Onaki. Under the watchful eyes of Wu Jingping, Onaki couldn't stop the third generation of Raikage at all. Moreover, so what if it is intercepted? Will the great mage Konoha join forces with that old bastard AI to kill himself here? You can actually hurt AI, and you're still so young, Konoha, that's amazing. Onaki slowly landed from the sky. Since he came, he didn't intend to retreat this time. If he can't take down his old opponent, the third generation of Raikage, he simply wants to tear Konoha's line of defense. Huang Tu. Order the village to let Lao Zi lead the defense force to guard against Yunyin's attack, and let the Han gather an army and advance here. Onaki arranged tactics for his son Huang Tu, and turned to look at Wu, who was still calm. Great Master? Ninja Master? An arrogant title, you are Konoha's ice-escaped blood successor ninja, Mito Mongo, the son of that old man Mito Manyan? Onoki obviously cared more about Konoha's information than AI, and after a while, he recalled the information of enlightenment. But there is no information about it. You will force yourself like this. Your Konoha's Konoha White Fang and Sunin are probably even worse. No comparison, it's hard to say, but if you want to break through my defense line, I'm sorry, it's impossible. Wu raised his eyebrows, twisted the ice crystal staff in his hand, and fell heavily on the ground. Yunyin village is full of confidence. There are 2 Zolai people. It seems that I will be lucky enough to meet another one. Humph. I hope you still think so when Han arrives. Onoji gave a low laugh and waved his hand. Go. Dodge him and attack Konoha's defense forces. This archmage, I will deal with it myself. Yes. Third generation. Captain Day Commander, assemble the defense force, clean up these miscellaneous soldiers, and leave it to me. Wu snorted coldly, stepped heavily on his feet, and circles of radiating ripple-like halos spread from his feet. This is amazing. Hinata Hisashi was shocked to find that he had consumed part of his energy and was slowly recovering. Brilliant halo. Although physical energy cannot be recovered, the recovery of mental energy will help you control chakra and avoid wasting it. Seeing Yanyin endured the attack, Wu walked forward slowly with the staff in his hand. When chakra is depleted, it is usually due to depletion of body energy. Do you know about my transfiguration? No. It is not a secret in the big family that the rebellious transfiguration technique of Satoru has the peculiar effect of restoring body energy. Hayagahise immediately realized that this extremely insulting technique, if combined with the brilliant halo of restoring the spirit. So, we are sure to stop them with our current manpower. Okay, then they are here, let's go. Onaki had already soared into the air, and Wu used a slow fall technique on himself, stepped forward with his feet, and his figure disappeared instantly. In the next step, he had already appeared behind the dignified Onaki. Dragon Breath. Earth Dungeon Earth Substitute. Onaki, who is now in his prime, has undoubtedly superb reaction speed. With the ability to fly, he is undoubtedly more difficult to deal with than the straight 3 generations of Raikage. Slow down. The shackles of arcane energy firmly locked Onoji's mobility, slowing down his flying speed. This move is basically ineffective against targets with huge chakra bursts, so Satoru didn't use it against the 3rd generation of Raikage who was wrapped in the armor of Thunder Dungeon, but it was still very useful against Onoki. Damn. What is this? Onaki has no good solution to this kind of silent non-offensive spell. The soil double tried it, but he still couldn't get rid of the deceleration, so he could only rise quickly and plan to launch a long-range attack. Boom! At this time, Onoki was shocked to find that with his flight, 2 huge fireballs were also flying with him. This thing can track targets. Earth Dungeon, the art of light and heavy rocks. Once again reducing his weight, Onoji finally counteracted the impact of the deceleration technique and recovered his flying speed, but it also inevitably increased his chakra consumption. Isn't this old man a living target for that kid? Onoji flew at high speed with the 2 flame-exploding fireballs. Wu, who was watching below, frowned, and saw Onoji suddenly turn around and rush towards the flame-exploding fireballs. Boom! The 2 explosive fireballs exploded, and Onaki appeared on the ground below in an instant. Clatter! A large pile of molten earth and rocks fell from the sky and fell to the ground, arousing puffs of green smoke, and Wu couldn't help admiring. As expected of the 3rd generation of Tukage, a simple soil substitute has played so many tricks. Master, your ninjutsu is really special enough, you can automatically track the target, but it's good against other ninjas, but it's not enough to deal with the old man. As soon as Onoji finished speaking, he felt something was wrong. Satoru looked away. Look up. No way. Immediately thinking of the scene he saw when he brought people here, and the distressed appearance of his old opponent, the 3rd generation of Raikage, Onoji didn't care to look up, and suddenly jumped into the air diagonally backward. Sure enough, the next moment, a fiery breath suddenly appeared in front of him. Just a little bit, Onaki would be hit right by the burning meteorite. Tisk, the reaction is really fast. Accompanied by a violent explosion, the meteor spell unfortunately missed the target. Even if it cooperates with the portal to achieve the effect of a surprise attack, this kind of range strike spell does not have the ability to lock onto a moving target. If you don't create a reason why the target can't dodge like Master Madara's Tianyi Zhenxing, with the ability of the shadow level powerhouse, you really can't do anything to them. The reason why the 3rd Raikage was hit was also because he had never seen this move before, and although Onoki had never seen how a meteor hit AI, he had just discovered that the spell of enlightenment could track the target, so he was always on guard. So close. Onaki, who was flying in the air, felt the scorching explosion, and couldn't help wiping the sweat off his face. Some are hot and some are scary. If it's pure rock, I can still try to deal with it, but things like bolides. Except for that old bastard AI, who can stand it? This guy is really messing around, this scale, huh? Onaki's complexion changed, and he made a complicated dodge in an instant. A dense mass of ice shards shone with a cold light, attacking him uninterruptedly. What is this? Ice shuriken. Dust escaped, the art of stripping the original realm. Putting his hands together, Onoki finally used the blood succession elimination he was famous for. A cubic transparent nodule larger than his body firmly protected him behind, and all the ice fragments were disintegrated and dissipated in an instant. This is the elimination of blood successors. Wu narrowed his eyes. Onoki finally showed his true skills, not only defending Wu Wu's attack, but also the transparent barrier of dust escape appeared in front of Wu Wu in an instant. Boom! At the location of Wu, all matter was separated into atomic state with the violent explosion.